Hello, everyone. I'm Sergey from Peeranha. And what we are building is knowledge-sharing protocol for Web3. If you don't understand what it means, that's OK. The simplest way to think of us as the next iteration of Stack Overflow, but built in a decentralized way with Web3 philosophies in mind. So I want to talk about Peeranha a little bit, how we use IPFS, and why IPFS is so important for applications like Peeranha. So first of all, let's talk a little bit why we need another Stack Overflow, especially in the Web3 space. So for someone who spent some time in Web3 building products and doing some technical research, you probably realize that finding technical information is so much harder than in the traditional Web2 space. And the main reason for that is all information that we need, it doesn't live on Google. It lives inside those very fragmented very important information lives inside fragmented communities, inside Discords, Telegrams, and Slack. And there is a big issue with that. All that knowledge that is being built by the community is technically wasted, because over time it's being lost. Information in those messengers is not structured, not searchable, not curated. And as I said, nobody checks like messages from a couple months ago on Discord, for example. That information is technically lost in the communication threads. So why there's no other solution? Like how come this problem is so obvious? Why nobody is solving it? Like there is a really great solution for traditional Web2 software developers like Stack Overflow. And probably anyone who's coding use it probably at least once a week. But unfortunately, it doesn't work very well for smaller communities in the Web3 space. Like Stack Overflow has that limit on the size of the community, and only the biggest ones are like lucky enough to be able to create their own Stack Exchange on that Stack Overflow, like a sister product. So only the biggest one, like Ethereum, Solana, or maybe some EOS, like really big projects, can have their own Stack Exchange. Everyone else in the Web3 space technically left behind. One option that Web3 users and communities use a lot is Discourse, but it's very kind of, I'd say, old-fashioned, very Web2 centralized product that doesn't really work really well for Web3 users. So that's why we're building Peeranha. And when we're building Peeranha, we not just want to serve Web3 communities and their needs, but we also want to follow Web3 philosophies in mind. On Peeranha, users own their data. They can monetize it later. We will provide the ways to get the reward for the contributions on Peeranha. Users earn a reputation that they own, that is stored on chain, and they can take it from Peeranha anywhere. And they're going to be recognized with various things that we add to the platform to add some fun, like NFTs and various other stuff. So this is kind of the interface of Peeranha, and we believe that Peeranha solves all the needs that I mentioned. It's fully decentralized. Users own the content. Users rewarded with NFTs. Their reputation is stored on chain and belongs to them. I want to show a couple screens. Yeah. So this is kind of the main interface of Peeranha with the posts. For anyone who uses Stack Overflow or Stack Exchange, it should be familiar. Trying to have very simple interface. If we look at the post example, like we're following similar structure that allows to find the most helpful answer as soon as possible. Like users are allowed to provide only single answer. There is a concept of the best answer that always appears at the top. And all of the remaining answers are sorted by the number of the upvotes. So this is a proven model to allow users to find information as quick as possible. As I mentioned, users are earning a reputation that is stored for them on chain. You can see on my user profile my reputation in various communities where I participated. All of my posts, answers, all of my interactions with the protocol recorded on chain. I'm earning NFTs, as I said, for my contributions. Right now we have some limited edition NFTs that the users are rewarded with, but we're also going to add soul-bound NFTs that represent status and achievement of the user within the certain communities. And later on, we are planning to launch our token. This is one of the considerations to reward users with a protocol token as well. So Peeranha is we call it protocol because there is a way to build on top of it. So that interface that I'm showing to you shows all of the posts available on Peeranha. Like if I go to my feed, like any communities existing here, you will see the post here. But because it's protocol, there can be any number of the interfaces built on top of it. And what we are providing to the communities, so Peeranha is broken down into communities for the convenience, so users can follow the topics that they're interested in. And the communities can have their own separate interface, styled differently, that shows only posts related to that community only. So this is an example of the Koi community. This is our friends' great project. And this is kind of their community on Peeranha. As you can see, it's styled differently and shows only content related to that community. So this is kind of short demo. But let's talk a little bit about tech stack, like why IPFS is so important and how IPFS is used here. So Peeranha is built on top two major technologies, like distributed technologies. It is blockchain and IPFS and Filecoin. So smart contract is very important to build the rules, like reputation and rewards, to track all of the important actions on the protocol, to make sure it's all collected on chain, and the knowledge that is being built by the protocol is actually public, transparent, and available to anyone. But if you think of a blockchain, like in my view, blockchain is very expensive database. Like it serves the same purpose as a database. You can add some logic on top of it, but technically this database that also can execute some logic. And because it's so important, we have to be very mindful what content we put on blockchain. It has to be only the content that makes sense for the logic, that is important for the logic within your smart contract. Only that content should go into smart contract. But if you think of the text content, like for example, post on Peeranha, it has some text title, some text content, images, and so on. Like all of that content is not important for the logic itself, and it's very economically inefficient to put that content on the blockchain. It would be much, much more expensive for us. So for that reason, IPFS is so important. Like the text content created on Peeranha is stored in the text files or media files on IPFS, and then the hash of that file is referenced within the smart contracts that are currently running on the Polygon blockchain. So this way, we know, like by having hash on the blockchain, we can always retrieve that content from the IPFS. We can be confident that this is the original content posted by the user. It's not modified by anyone. And at the same time, we're saving storage on the blockchain. We're saving only the part that is very important to us. So IPFS and Filecoin go hand by hand. Like for someone who is not very familiar with IPFS and Filecoin, there is one big problem with IPFS itself, that the content can be disappearing from the IPFS, or retrieval can be slow as well. So this is the problem solved by Filecoin, and that's why kind of they go hand by hand here. And then another critical component here is indexing layer. Querying data from smart contracts is very inefficient. Similar, if we query data from IPFS every time when we try to pull some posts for Peeranha, it also would be inefficient. That's why we use the indexing layer that currently uses the graph. The goal here is to build a system that is fully decentralized, like all of the components can exist without us. Like if we as a company stop to exist, we want the protocol to continue running an application to serve the community. That's how we see it, like truly owned by the community. So that indexing layer is basically, anytime where there's changes within a smart contract or Filecoin IPFS, it indexes all of that data into queryable format that is later can be accessed by the UI. Like when you see the list of the posts or you kind of filtering the posts on Peeranha, that's what we use. We use kind of index on the graph. And the front end is built with React.js, single page app that is running in the browser. So next thing I wanted to talk about is user adoption. Like, there's a lot of talk in the Web3 space about mass adoption of the Web3 apps. And I strongly believe that the secret for that is to build applications that are not just crappy version of Web3 product with decentralized component. We don't want to build crappy Stack Overflow that is decentralized with token. Right? We don't believe this is the path to mass adoption. So we want to build something that is better than the Web2 product, but in addition, decentralized and also provides rewards to the users. And we believe our secret sauce here is our understanding of Web3 communities, how they operate, how they exchange the knowledge. So if we look at the current flow of the knowledge exchange in any Web3 community today, pretty much in anyone, there will be some documentation website, where some limited documentation is available, but majority of the communication between the community members will happen in Telegram, Discord, or Slack. And as I mentioned previously, all of that knowledge is being lost. It's not exposed to search engines as Google, and it's hard to find any helpful information there. So once communities realize that this is the problem, they start creating some forum. Like the luckiest one, the biggest ones, they would start the Stack Exchange Q&A. Smaller projects would do something like discourse or maybe GitHub discussions. But as you can see, as we can see, typically those forums don't get a lot of use from the users. And the main reason is lack of the incentives. Like why, if I'm so convenient to using Discord or Telegram, why would I have to go use something else where it takes longer for me to get the answer? So we basically end up with this very fragmented communication and knowledge structures. So in Peeranha, we believe that the future of the knowledge management should be integrated with all of those tools instead of having them separately. So we are building the bots for all of the messengers today used in Web3 space, like Telegram, Discord, or Slack. We also see that Web3 communities are very international. So we believe that translation is an important part. So we're building auto-translation bot that will be translating content on Peeranha automatically to various languages. And once enough knowledge is based on the protocol, like built on the protocol, it will be possible to answer a lot of questions automatically without waiting the response from the community. That's why we're building that auto-answering bot for that. So to give you a quick example how we see it working. Let's say we have a person who speaks English and wants to ask a question on Telegram. So all that person has to do is just write their question the usual way, but just tag Telegram bot of Peeranha in that message. The bot will understand that this is the post that needs to be created on Peeranha protocol as well. It will create it here automatically. Then translation bot would see that there is a new post translated to multiple languages. And then other bots like Discord, Slack, and so on, they will pick up the new post in various languages and notify subscribed channels about the new question or discussion topic. So let's say we have a person who is on Discord and speaks Chinese, like Mandarin Chinese. That person will see the question in their own language. They will be able to reply directly in Discord in their language again, and this reply picked up by Discord bot, again translated to all of the languages, and then the person who originally asked in English in Telegram would get their answer, even though someone who replied is like he prefers different communication channel and speaks different language. So it's already cool just in the context of this exchange of the question and answer. But what is much more important, that all of this knowledge is being recorded on the protocol where it's indexed by search engines like Google. It can be curated, it can be improved by the community, and so on. So it really creates that knowledge base and keeps building it instead of losing it every day. Actually, I'm skipping that slide. Yeah, so Peeranha, we are helping communities to manage their knowledge, we're improving knowledge base, and also helping to attract users through the SEO that is created every day by the users when they ask questions and provide the answers. So I'm happy to connect. Yeah, if you're interested, please reach out. I'm going to be here. Thank you.